Now, Jarret, before we jump into your whole little segment here, hi, by the way. Um, Last Thursday, the Ghostbusters trailer dropped. Wondering what you think.
Yeah, I'm actually excited because it feels like we're finally going to break new ground with the
Mm,
franchise. We're not just sort of aping what we did last or anything like that nature. Yeah, I was really surprised. I didn't even realize until the teaser dropped that this installment was called Frozen Empire either, which is a fucking cool name. It's
it
like
is.
way out there. It feels like more akin to the sequel titles we got in the 80s.
Yeah, because they'd been teasing. Was it Firehouse? I think was the teaser name that
Yeah,
they were
that's right.
going
That
with.
was the
Yeah,
working title. Yeah, totally. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see the title ahead of
I
watching the
really
teaser. But
enjoyed the
yeah,
look of this one. The trailer that is like it has like a Coney Island feel to it as well. A bit of like Day After Tomorrow creeping in there, and the original Ghostbusters are along for the ride apparently.
yeah. Well, I saw Annie Potts, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson.
And Bill
So I think
Murray.
the only is Bill Murray. Okay, yeah, because they
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because obviously, yeah, Bill Murray's been quite topical recently. So I mean,
Well,
if he's
his
if he
name was
wants
left
to
out.
do it,
His name was left out of like the YouTube,
of
credit
course,
list, but he's in the
yeah,
fucking trailer.
yeah, he's
So
a, yeah, exactly. No, interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's a new director too. I know that Jason Reitman's co-written it with Gil
yeah,
Keenan, but Gil Keenan's directing, and Gil Keenan's had a pretty good filmography of things.
yeah,
So I'm
Monster House.
pleasantly, yeah, Monster House, which was awesome, exactly.
And
I'm excited.
is Bob Gunton going to return as
Harold Ramis.
as Harold Ramis?
I think they tied that up nicely with Afterlife, so I think we can move ahead with that.
They might have someone that comes in and plays Bob Gunton.
Now that would be meta. Just as long as they don't have anyone coming in playing Melissa McCarthy and the rest of the crew, I think everyone will be happy.
It's the Stay Puft Girl.
Now we've just got to wait another 4 months or so because it's not coming out till March 28th. So
Yep.
we've got a while ahead of us.
All righty,
Which
let's
is
crack
amazing.
on.
Assuming
All
that
right.
the strike ends and they
It
can
has
do
ended.
city and it has ended.
Yep. As of Thursday at around about noon, it ended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So people can
Just-
publicize things again. That's going to be interesting.
Just in time for Wonka and maybe even Thanksgiving. They might let the cast do some talking. I mean, but who really wants to hear from the cast? I only want to hear from Eli Roth, really, with regards to that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. But
And you
welcome.
guys are off to see that this
Oh,
week.
are we? Yes, I think. Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
I think you guys are off to see it Wednesday. I can't go because I'm going to be at a stand-up comedy show a friend wrote me into. It's at the Palais, and I've never heard of them, but yeah, look, they've got to be big if they're playing the Palais.
Car park.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah. It's like a bus cassette sort of thing. So anyway, home entertainment this week,
Yes.
gentlemen. Well, the headlining title is the title that you both enjoyed theatrically and no doubt are anticipating for the home entertainment release. It's Gran Turismo, and that's coming out on 4K Blu-ray and DVD. However, lately the 4Ks and the Blu-rays have been sharing a Dolby Atmos track. Not the case with this release. If you do want that Atmos, you're going to have to pick up the 4K, but by the looks of it, you'd want this film on 4K. It looks like a film that's really going to show off 4K, both visually and aurally.
Are they doing a 4K pack with the Blu-ray inside? Or just...
Yeah, Sony's really good about still keeping the Blu-ray component with theirs, whereas other studios are a bit hit and miss. I noticed that Roadshow with some of their Warner releases, like the DC stuff, they don't say that it's got the Blu-ray. It just says 4K, like they did it with Black Adam, The Flash, and another one of those movies that no one gives a shit about recently. But they actually did have the Blu-ray inside the case as well, just not advertised. I think they're slowly weaning people off.
Yeah.
So they don't, and they get surprised. And then when it's not there, they're like, well, we didn't advertise it. You just got a free ride for a couple releases. But yeah, that one's got some special features on it. It's got 5 featurettes and some deleted scenes. So no commentary track, unfortunately, which would have been interesting given it's your close friend from college, Glenn, Neil Blomkamp. And it would have been nice to hear him talk about having directed something that's really quite different to, his previous
because
body of work.
I've seen lots of featurettes about this one and the technology he deployed to shoot it, because it's a lot different to what's been done before. So I would have thought it would make a great commentary. I guess they're just going to throw those features onto the disc and You
That's
get it
it,
that
the
way.
featurettes. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that one's coming out this week. Then from Universal, we've got another one of your favorites from the year, Glenn. Asteroid City. Wes Anderson's Asteroid City is hitting
Fuck
Blu-ray
off.
and DVD. I recently had a friend go and see this theatrically, and I thought, God, why are you going to see it in cinemas now when it's like it's been out for however long? Probably not a kind word has really been said about it. And they went and said, and they go, yeah, I didn't dig it. And it was obvious within the first 5 minutes I wasn't going to enjoy it. And I sat through the entire thing, and now I think it might be the last Wes Anderson film I ever watch.
Yeah.
And they said, but it wasn't as bad as The French Dispatch. And I'm like, oh, well, there's that.
See, I preferred The French Dispatch, but his films are just morphing into the same shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you go back to the great ones, at the beginning.
The Holy Trinity.
There is nothing. They're not comparable anymore.
No, that's because there's no Owen Wilson. Like, Owen Wilson has to do one or two things. Either he has to start talking to that child of his that he's never spoken to, that was proven by a paternity test to be his daughter, or he needs to go back and co-write films with Wes Anderson again. He's got those two options. It's an ultimatum, do one or the other. Otherwise, your career's over, mate. I feel like the best part of Wes Anderson's writing was Owen Wilson, because the minute he left, we got, what was it, The Life Aquatic, which was okay, and then it was sort of a downward spiral from there.
It's 100% quirk now. There's no substance. Yeah.
No, I can get that on TikTok watching like a 15-second video. I don't need to watch 115 minutes of it. So I'm sorry, Mr. Anderson, until you find a capable other screenwriter, because Roman Coppola obviously wasn't a great decision. But anyway, so Asteroid City out this week on Blu-ray and DVD. It's got 4 featurettes on it. Nothing else, and I don't think it really needs anything else, but who knows, probably Criterion are going to release an edition down the track on 4K with a director approved transfer, which is kind of nonsense in this day and age. I feel like if you've just directed a film that's hit home entertainment and it's getting reissued within 6 to 12 months with a director approved transfer, you're like, what went wrong the first time around? But anyway, then some Studio Canal releases this week. These ones are great because they include Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai, which we played at Monster Fest, the new 4K restoration. Now, this is an unusual one because Studio Canal are releasing the 4K, but it does actually come bundled with the Blu-ray. And I'm guessing it's because all the special feature content is on the Blu-ray discs. But even then, it's a bit of a rarity for them because of late they've just been giving you the 4K. But in this instance, you can get the local release for like $30 and it's going to have everything the UK release does. It's all archival material, but it is good material. And I think for once, that might be the first time some of those special features have made it to a local release as well, because I don't even think the Mad Men release of Ghost Dog had all the special feature content, and it does look magnificent. The other 2 titles coming out from Studio Canal are The Others, which unfortunately is just 4K, no Blu-ray component, and I'm not 100% certain if all the special features are on the 4K, but this is a debatable one as well, because Studio Canal are releasing The Others in the UK and in Australia, but in the US, Criterion are releasing it. They're sharing the same transfer, but the Criterion has more special feature content on its release, as well as new content that's been put together. Sadly, there's some content that was on the old 2-disc like Miramax or Dimension Films release that's absent from both releases. So, I mean, if you're a big The Others fan, hold on to your DVD for that extra feature content. And then the third release that's coming out from Studio Canal is The Pianist. And that, again, is only coming out in 4K. And I haven't got confirmation whether all the special feature content is just on the 4K or not. But I'm quite interested in revisiting it because I have not seen it since the film released back in like 2002. So, yeah, quite eager to revisit it. I think it could be maybe Roman Polanski's last good film.
Last genuinely like great film, I'd say.
Yeah, like really, great film. I mean,
yeah.
Was it? Oh, no, yeah, because I'm trying to think. I can't even really think what's come since.
He's done a lot of European films since then.
He has, yeah.
Sort of flown under the radar. I'm amazed that this one's even getting a special treatment, just with the political climate we live in,
Yeah, totally. Well, at least in Australia and Europe, I don't know if there's any plans. I don't know if Criterion will be sub-licensing it from Studio Canal to do a US release because, it's sort of dicey territory. And then the last distributor I want to mention that's releasing titles this week is Viavision. Now, last week I mentioned they're releasing The Wraith and The Arrival. They were coming out in a DVD double pack. This week, they're coming out as standalone Blu-ray releases, collector's edition releases with special features. But a third release they're releasing this week, which I'm actually really excited about, is Communion with Christopher Walken, directed by Philippe Mora. And now this one did have a release in the US, but it was through Shout Factory, and it was one of their site exclusives where you could only order it if you lived in the US or Canada. Otherwise, you had to use a mail forwarding service. So effectively, it would cost you like $100 to get a copy of this movie. And let's be honest, it's not worth $100. I've got a soft spot for it, and I'm more than happy to pay $30 for it locally. And it's a pretty good release in terms of I don't think there's anything new on it. It's just archival content, but it is that new HD transfer. So I'm definitely going to pick that one up. But on the topic of Viavision, now last week I think I reported that they're doing the full Three Ninjas quadrilogy pack.
Yes.
They've got another release that's just kind of come out of the blue. This is what I'm loving about Viavision at the moment. They just announced something and it's like a month or two away. It's just like comes out of nowhere. They're going to release The Mist locally on 4K Ultra HD, and they're doing it justice by basically doing a port of the US release, less the Blu-ray discs, but that doesn't matter because the content that's on the Blu-ray discs is the same as the 4K. So it's got both cuts of the film. You've got the original standard color theatrical release, plus the alternate black and white version. There's some other special features, but boys, there's Dolby Atmos on this sucker, and I'm very excited to check this one out. Stupidly, of course, I imported it because I didn't think there was a hell of a chance that this thing was going to get a local release. And my copy arrived like last week. So,
So
look, it's got
interesting,
a nice slipcase.
Considering they've just put The Mist in the Stephen King box set they've released.
I know, in the Blu-ray box set. I've got a feeling because the street date for that was so close to the US street date for the 4K. And I haven't looked at one of these 4K releases from Viavision that is like a Lionsgate acquisition to see if the discs themselves are locally pressed with local art and ratings and whatnot, or whether they are just basically the US disc or not. So I don't know if it was something to do with that, because otherwise, they could have included the 4K cut in that box set. I know there was a bit of backlash when it was coming out. People were like, oh, it's just come out in 4K and they're only putting a Blu-ray in this box set. And you're like, well, if you put the 4K in that box set, you would have taken its retail price of whatever it was, just under $200, probably to about $250. And you would have the same amount of people whinge, I don't want to buy this whole box set just to get a 4K disc. I'm going to import the 4K disc.
Oh,
but anyway,
Jesus. What annoyed me about the reaction to that box set, which I think it's a great box set, but people
it's
saying,
a terrific box set.
People are saying it's
I literally have it right here.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So
and it's terrific.
I've been through it, and people are saying, oh, it's a shame they didn't put any good movies on it. I'm like, they are all crackers. Like, they're movies that need the attention.
Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of these titles they haven't had Blu-ray releases locally, but in some instances, I think they're global Blu-ray debuts. Like, it's fantastic to have Bag of Bones on Blu-ray.
Yes. The only disappointment is Bag of Bones doesn't have any kind of features with it, right? And I was chatting with Mick Garris, and he says they should have reached out to me.
Deleted scenes is it. Yeah.
He would have done
that would have been great. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Well, look. If anything, this may, inspire some interest, knowing that there's HD transfers with other distributors in the UK and the US. And I remember trying to work with Mick to do some Sleepwalkers, some of that footage, and eventually Screen Factory did the release and were able to do it. So maybe, there's, look, I'm going to hold on to this. There's no doubt. Like a lot of these titles, I probably wouldn't rebuy. But Bag of Bones, I would definitely rebuy if they did a really nice special. Yeah. It's at least a commentary track with Mick, because the guy can talk.
Completely underrated movie, that one.
Really underrated. And Pierce Brosnan as well. But yeah, so anyway, look, that was a little off topic, but this thing's magnificent. Like, honestly, all individually housed and, with original theatrical key art. It's
double
terrific.
discs and, it's good stuff.
Yeah, alternate cuts of, multiple films within it. And I'm really excited to watch Secret Window, because it's been a little while since I watched it. And I have a weird sort of thing is, when I want to watch Secret Window and I watch The Ninth Gate, because I kind of see them almost as companion films, because they weren't that far apart from a release. And you've kind of got this, I don't know, similar sort of thing of Johnny Depp as a weird sort of, I don't know, writer detective sort of thing. Yeah. And so anyway, there's the Polanski angle. So I can double those two films together. But yeah, really exciting. That one's going to come out December 20. So they announced it overnight. I think it was late last week. And the thing's coming out December 20. So yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic news. But anyway, gentlemen, you've got all the releases and you've even got a little bit of news. But you know what I want from the two of you? I want a synchronized sign out. So I'm going to do a countdown. So we're going to go 3, 2. There's no 1. On 1, we are going to go stay physical. So until next time, 3, 2, stay physical. Oh, I don't know what the hell. Yeah. Next time.
Oh, you kind of took the fun out of it by like prepping us for it.
I know. Well, I was going to wait for premature Ben that was just going to spit it out like before I'd even got to it.
That was his high school nickname.
PB. Mm-hmm.
PB.
All right, gentlemen, next time.